Oh, hello. Oh, hope you're doing good. We're going to be getting started in about 3 or so minutes. So those of you coming in live, hello. Let us know where you're checking in from. And also, oh, it's got a bit blurry, hasn't it? Those of you watching the recording, hello. It's great to see you here. We will be getting started in about 2 or 3 minutes. So those of you watching the replay, you can fast forward. Today we're going to be doing quiz creating. We're going to be doing quiz creating, starting my day off with some epic tongue twisters going on. So yes, we will be doing how to create quizzes today. We're going to talk all about how to actually come up with the idea for the quiz, how to create the quiz questions, the scoring, the categories, and then the tech setup, setting up the quiz on a tech platform. Oh, is that side? And also how to actually then create customized pathways, workflows, communication, follow-up, and even upselling based on the quiz result that your people have got. So we're going to be doing some exciting stuff there today. So we've got Mike in here from Colorado. Good to see you. We've got Tristan in. Yay, Tristan's able to make it this week. Good to see you here live. Cadence is here as well. Cadence, I saw that you asked a question about what platform am I using. I actually have two ways that I run training. When it's Q&A calls, I use Zoom. When it's doing live training, like the one I'm doing right now, this is done in StreamYard. So just so you know, I like StreamYard because you can have these private webinar rooms. You can live stream across all of your different platforms at exactly the same time. It's also a filming studio as well, which is great fun. We've got Britt from Perth. Lovely to see you. Awesome. Okay, on my clock, it is now bang on time. So drum roll, please. Welcome to Quiz Creator. Welcome to Quiz Creator Champion. Today I'm going to be taking you through about a 1 hour, sometimes we go to 90 minutes, approximately it's going to be 60 minutes though, how to create a proper, effective quiz for your business. And in a way that you can use this for lead generation, collecting email addresses, growing your email database. You can also use it simultaneously as a way to triage and segment people who are coming into your list so that you can give them really customized journeys around the kinds of follow-up emails they'll get, the way they will receive nurturing communication from you, the types of products that you offer them based on the way they answered quizzes. So these quizzes can be used purely for fun, just to bring in leads. I don't know if any of you have ever done those kinds of quizzes on Facebook that are things like, what kind of potato are you? What kind of entrepreneur are you? If you were an animal, what would you be? This is a way where you can get people to just simply use fun as the lead magnet itself. I just want to do something funny to see what kind of potato I am, all the way through to actually asking really thought-provoking questions that are going to give people a result that will then actually tell you lots of really cool stuff about that customer or that lead, and be able to enable you to customize the kind of communication they receive from you from that point and the kinds of products and services that you offer. So I'm going to take you through, how do you make the quiz? How do you come up with the idea? How do you come up with the questions? How do you score it? And then how do you set up the tech? Are you ready? I'm ready. Very excited. Clearly my speech isn't today because I've done lots of really fun tongue twisters. So I'm just going to get the screen up and give you some exciting news. So let's just do whole window. This whole window I'm going to share with you and take that away. Because the first thing I've made for you, as always, is a quiz creator bot in GPT. So I've actually programmed a custom GPT bot for you that is going to help you come up with the right kind of quiz for your business and help you create the questions and help you create the scoring. And it is even programmed and trained with the exact setup instructions for Techmatics. So it will actually personalize for you your setup for exactly what button to click and exactly what thing to press next to make your quiz set up live. How fun is that? So I'm going to first of all give you the link to that. And it is in ChatGPT. It looks like this. It's called the Techmatics Quiz Creator Bot. And I'm going to copy the link for you. Those of you here live, I'm going to stick that inside the chat for you. Those of you watching the replay of this, there is a ChatGPT link that will be in the description area of this video. If you're watching on YouTube, it will be in the courses text area if you're watching this in the course portal. So this is awesome. Yay for more bots. If you'd all like to open this bot, one thing I'd recommend that you do is when it opens, I will just put the screen share back on for you to show you where this is. When it opens in your ChatGPT, click on the name of the bot on the sort of top left-hand inside corner and press pin to sidebar. That way, this bot will always be present on your sidebar of your ChatGPT. So whenever you have a new idea to create a new quiz or a lead magnet or anything, this is going to help you come up with that idea. Now, basically, you don't even have to have yet any kind of idea as to what you want your quiz to be about. You can come straight here and just tell your bot what is the audience that you have, who are they, who is that target audience you really want to be in front of, and what do you sell? What do you help people do? What products and services do you offer? And it will start by giving you some ideas. So I might say something like, let me just chuck this in. My name is Sarah Cordiner. I'm a course creation coach. I help people create courses. I have a membership academy called the Legends Lab. I really want to get as many people as possible into that Legends Lab. In the Legends Lab Academy, I basically teach people how to build a personal brand, commercialize their knowledge and IP in the form of creating courses, education products, coaching programs, and memberships. I teach them authority marketing techniques so that they can promote and market themselves and their products and really then scale that with systems and technology. Please help me come up with some ideas of quizzes that I could create. All right, so it might ask a few questions and you don't necessarily have to give it the answers. It will just continue to serve you with some ideas. So here is a few ideas that it's come up for me. What kind of course creator are you? Are you ready to do this? What's holding you back from that? What's your XYZ strategy for this? What's your fastest path to X? So this is going to be really cool. I'm just going to pick a random one for now. So let's pretend I want number one, or I could keep asking it to give me more ideas. I might go, I don't really like any of those. Give me some more ideas. So now it has suggested a title. The first thing you want to start getting your head around are what are the results that I want my members to get? You always, with quizzes, start with the result. What are the results you want to bucket people into? If you were going to have these buckets at the end, what way do you want to bucket up or segment up your list? So in this example, let me give you a real example. So I actually do have a quiz that I've had for probably about 8 years called What Kind of Course Should You Create? And I help people create 4 main courses. A lead magnet course is number 1. A authority flagship course is number 2. They also have a coaching program and a membership. So they're kind of like the 4 main types of courses that I actually help people create. So the whole point of my quiz was to go, which one of those types of courses are people in right now when they join my email list? Which one is best for them to be bucketed into? Because if they create a lead magnet, I have a tutorial video for that. If they want to create a coaching program, I've got another tutorial for that. You get the point. So based on the result that they come out of, I can point them first of all to a free mini training on how to do that thing. But I can also then send a bunch of follow-up emails to point them to each of my different workshops or coaching offers or consulting sessions or service packages that will help them specifically create that particular type of course. So the first thing you need to ask yourself right now, and don't worry, the bot's going to help you. What are the results I'm trying to find out? Because your whole quiz will be built around those results that you're getting to. Pro tip, I recommend, right, the optimum number of results is 3. The optimum number of results is 3. This is where think low, medium, high. Baby bear, mummy bear, daddy bear, bronze, silver, gold. Your optimum number of results is 3, and you'll see why when I carry on showing you in a moment. The reason why you also want to keep it as low as 3 is because when we go on to then create all of these results streams, result 1, result 2, result 3, outcome 1, outcome 2, outcome 3, you actually have to have an individual workflow for each result, right? Because you want to say anyone who got this result, pop them down this workflow. They're going to get this tag, the high result tag. They're going to get the high result email. They're going to get the high result follow up. They're going to get the high result offer of whatever it is that you sell. The people who get the low result, right? You're going to put them in a separate workflow with their own tag with the low result, with their separate email that's going to give them description of the low result. So you get the point. If you've got 20 different results, you've now got to create 20 different workflows. And there's just usually not really that much need to go into that much of a microscopic pathway. You just want to get a broad idea of roughly where your audience is sitting at that moment in time that they take that quiz. So that you can go based on these 3 kind of outcomes. These are the pathways, the 3 pathways I'm going to send people down in my marketing, in my follow-up, in the thing that I'm offering them. So you can have more than 3 outcomes, of course. You would see there, I just described an example where I have 4 outcomes. But I would strongly recommend, for the simple sake of simplicity, and simple businesses are successful businesses, right? Your point is to broadly categorize people. Now, again, I understand that there are always going to be unique situations, right? You might be doing some kind of psychological evaluation where there might be 10 or 12 results. Cool. You can do that many if you want to, right? You can do unlimited results and outcomes. I just want you to know at the beginning, the number of results that you have determines the number of workflows you will need to create. So I'm just framing this in the what's the point of it? Categorization. What do you need to do to make it work? Have workflows. How much work do you feel like doing, bro? All right. So, of course, again, I reiterate, you may have as many results and outcomes as you want. I recommend 3 to 5 as your kind of optimum. Nice. Let me bring my screen back on here where, again, I've just had an example of where ChatGPT here was giving me some ideas as to what my results or outcomes, another word for this inside the system is called categories. So let's just learn the language. The result is also called an outcome. An outcome is also called in the tech side a category. This is just which bucket do people end up in when they come and plop out the end of the quiz. All right. So this is the first thing you're going to do. I might have beginner, medium, and authority. I might have low, medium, high. I might have beginner, trader, expert. You might, if this is a personality quiz, have, your 4 different results, 3 different results, 5 different results, whatever it is that you've come up with. But you must have your results first and have a really clear indicator of what they look like. Awesome. It will then automatically give you suggested categories. And then it will give you, questions, my apologies, questions. It will give you the multiple choice answers. And it will give you the category, i.e. the outcome, the main result that question belongs to, and the proposed score. Because when it comes to setting up these quizzes, every answer will relate to what particular outcome they'll end up in, also called the category. You also need to give that particular category in question a score so that the system can come up with the result, which inside Techmatics can look something like this. This actually is a Techmatics quiz result. This obviously hasn't been set up properly, perfectly. It's simply an example, but you can have high, medium, low score. You can choose the percentages that determine whether it's low, medium, or high, and it will give like an overall percentage score. So this is an example I'll be showing you today. But this is why having scoring points is good. So the system can then automatically determine what the percentage overall score is for that particular thing. It's very fun. Now, I know this might seem confusing at first, but I'm going to walk you through every single step of setting this up. So it's going to give you the questions, the answers, the category, i.e. result that belongs to, and the score that it suggests you apply when we're setting the quiz up. Now, of course, you can say to the system, how many has this given us? It's given us 5 questions. Let's have in here, can we make it 6 questions, right? So if you want more questions, cool. Excuse me, ask more questions. Brilliant. It's going to give you some more. What else? Now, what it also does here is it then gives you the scoring tiers. This is important because when we come to do the builder later on, we need to determine what percentage determines outcome number 1. What percentage determines that they'll end up in outcome number 2? What percentage determines that they will drop in the outcome bucket number 3? You get the point? The system's now going to work that out for you inside the Course Creator bot. And then finally, the bot will give you the results message. So when someone finishes your quiz, what's it going to say here in the kind of first initial result that they receive? Oh no, you're in this one. Woohoo, you're ready for this. Yay, you get that. Whatever it might be. So your whole result, message, and call to action reminder is also programmed to be provided to you by this bot. How exciting is that? Done all the hard work for you, friends. Back in the old days when I created my first quiz, it took me weeks. It took me weeks to write the questions, to come out with all of the mapping and the points and the scoring. And I even consulted with a quiz consultant, which back then she charged $28,000 to put a quiz together. Now you have it in a bot. How good is that? I'm just going to have a quick look here. I've got a question that's popped up from Britt. Sorry that I'm looking over here. My screen is over here where you guys are asking the questions. Britt said, if my goal is to create a first aid class bums on seats, brand awareness, social media footprint, is that too vague? I feel like that's not really what you mean. If my goal is first aid, Britt, I would need to know a bit more about your business. I'm not sure whether you're teaching people how to fill first aid classes. Are you teaching teachers how to fill classes? Ooh, I'm not sure I understand the question. I would need some more information to be able to answer that. But in terms of more of a general answer to that, you can literally create a quiz for anything to categorize people in any way whatsoever. It doesn't matter if it's really broad and vague. It doesn't matter if it's the most detailed, specific, like how much annual income do you earn? Let me give you a real life example. We've got real estate agents who are on Techmatics and they want to know how much is the annual combined household income. Really detailed figures, because that will determine how much of a loan they can get, what properties they can apply for. They need to know how much savings they have, and loads of really detailed information. And they use quizzes to actually do that pre-assessment to work out the loanage, the amount, the property type, and so much more, like even down to the specifics of how many bedrooms, whether they want an undergarage parking, whether they want the pool to be heated or not heated, whether they want solar panels or not. Like these quizzes can be used to get details like that, right the way through to what kind of animal do you want to be. Like they can be as generic, as massively vague, or as detailed as you are trying to find out. You always have to start with, what's the purpose of this quiz for you? Like a quiz has to have a point. If it's to just collect emails by giving people a laugh, great. It's just to collect emails. Make it short, make it simple, make it easy, make it funny. If it's to get really detailed info to pre-qualify people for one of your products or your services or your offerings, you're going to need to ask more specific questions, because you need to know certain data in order to then be able to get the sales team to reach out to that person to determine whether or not they're qualified for the product or the service that you're offering. I've just seen that Britt's answered the question here. Shifting your thinking to what data the quiz can collect rather than the specific business goal. Okay, so I see what you mean. Yeah, the data, it can collect any data you want. So you'll see in the moment when we go into the quiz builder and I show you where to build this. One of the main ways we do prefer to use quizzes in Techmatics is by giving people multiple choice questions, because multiple choice questions means you can really easily quantify the result, right? You can assign a value or a score when you've pre predetermined multiple choice questions. So if, like in our real estate example I've given, instead of giving them just a field to type in their annual income, which is really hard to score, you would have to manually go back through that, look at the result, decide what category that puts them into. Instead, what I would do and what they do is you would say, if your annual income is option number 1, between this amount and this amount, option number 2, this amount and this amount, option number 3, over X amount. Because we've given them a multiple choice question, we still get a really specific answer, but it's really quick and easy for them to select the answer to, that we can now assign the scoring to give them a specific result for. So you get to determine what the question is and what the multiple choice options are. But on top of multiple choice options, you can ask any open-ended question as well. So let's just now go in and understand. The first thing we've done is we've determined what is the objective of our quiz. We have gone to the quiz creator bot and we've told it who our audience are and roughly what we think we want to do. It's going to give us examples of quiz types, questions, titles, all of the multiple choice answers, the categories, i.e. the outcomes that people are going to end up in, and the number of points that we're going to assign to each answer. So assuming you've used your bot to come up with all of that information, by the way, the next thing that will happen with your bot that I've made for you is it will then give you the instructions to set it up in Techmatics. So you can literally say, ready to set up in Techmatics. All right, or help me create the tech. How do I do it? And it's now going to walk you through every single step. Go to sites, go to quizzes, press add quiz, start from scratch, name your quiz, and it's going to personalize this for you with your questions. Now go to add an element, choose a single choice question, score it per answer. Here are your categories. It's literally personalized every single step of what you need to do to set up your quiz in Techmatics, from adding all of the questions, adding all of your categories, i.e. the results, scoring all of your questions. It's even then going to walk you through how to set up the workflow and the automation. So let's do a demo, shall we? Here's one I made earlier. I did one for, what did I call mine? Quiz creation. Did I do it? I found it. So where is it gone? I've lost it. Quiz ideas for Techmatics. Maybe it was there. I think so. Here we go. All right. Somewhere in here, I made one. Here we go. I have made one. Okay. I just started doing one earlier. I said, I wanted to create a quiz called What's Your Business Scalability Score? Okay. So this is going to be a quiz. I thought, how can I help Techmatics users start working out what kind of elements of tech to bring into their business so that they can increase their business scalability? So I've created a quiz called What's Your Business Scalability Score? And I'm just going to set this up as my demo today, basically. I've given my score. My quiz is going to have 3 results. So remember I said to you, 3 results is an awesome, most optimum outcome. I like it because it just is low, medium, high. Okay, high score, medium score, low score. And anyone who's come out as high, I'm calling them high, scaling ready. Growth ready is medium, and manual mode mayhem is the low score. And I've also, with my bot's help, it's told me here that anyone who gets 71% or higher is what determines the high score. Anyone who gets 41 to 70% is medium, and anyone who's 0 to 40% is the low outcome. And this is important because this is what will start determining this kind of results page that your quiz people will get at the end. It's also then how I go and build the workflows at the end, which look a bit like this. You will be able to see that every workflow we create is related to the results that you get. So each result has its own workflow. You'll see here I've created a workflow called quiz results, your scalability score, high. How do we create the trigger for this? We simply say anyone, the quiz name is what's your scalability score? So we've told it what the quiz is, and their overall score was 70% or over. Okay, this tells me that they got the high result. So we can now go in and create a special workflow for everyone who got the high result. Nice. Now, let's start from the beginning in terms of creating our actual quiz. You will see that instruction number 1 that our bot has given us is to actually go in. Let me go down to the instructions. Okay, it will tell you here, Technatics Quiz Implementation Guide. Create your quiz, go to Sites, Quizzes, add a quiz, start from scratch. So let me show you where that is. I'm going to come out of this completely. Sites means websites. It's just a short way of saying websites. In your main account over here, you're going to go to Websites and Funnels on the main menu. And up on the top there, you've got quizzes. So click on Quiz Builder. And we're going to create a quiz. Just simply create a quiz, create from scratch. Now, I started one today, so I'm just going to open up one that I've started. The first thing you're always going to do is title your quiz. So right at the very top of this screen where it says, what's your scalability score? Just simply click on that pen and give your quiz its title. Important. Once you've done that, you will have a blank page. All right, you will see just a plain blank page on here at the moment. Now, I recommend the first page you create, FYI, you can make this look pretty later, is full name and email. How do you do that? I'm just going to delete mine to show you what we do. You will have a plain page like this. Over in Elements, if you press this plus button on the top left-hand corner, you can scroll down all of the elements and we're going to pull over full name and pull over email. We want full name to be a required field. Let's click on full name, press required. So now, if that makes it a bit bigger for you, you can see that we have now made it required that full name is filled in and email is also required. Lovely. So now we've got our first page in there. Awesome. The next thing you do is press add a new page. And I recommend that you just choose the single choice question, because if it's a single choice question, you're allowed to put your multiple choice answers and they're only allowed to select one answer. That's what we want. We want to make this as simple as possible. Okay. So I'm going to go down to, oops, let's delete this one, because I've already got a couple of my questions in here already. You can see here, the question for a single option will look like this. Here's the question, and here are your 3 answers. Here's the question, here are your 3 answers. Of course, you might have more than 3. It doesn't have to be 3 answers. Let me just reiterate that. People watch these instruction videos and go, oh no, my ChatGPT's given me 6 possible answers. It doesn't matter how many answers yours has come out with. In mine, my example just has 3 options. Yours might have more. It's totally okay to have more. This is just a demo. So I'm going to add a new page and I'm going to pull over my single choice drag and drop question. See, it's pulled this over here. Now, when I click on it, now I can edit it in this right-hand side. So I've just got to go and find whatever my next question was. I don't even know what the last question was. Let me see what was the last question. Who answers the phone? So I'm just going to go and find me question. Where are me questions? Okay, how do you handle who answers your phone calls? My third question is going to be, do you have an automated welcome sequence for your new leads? So let's go into my quiz builder. I'm going to paste my question into the question section. Scroll down, make it required because I want everyone to answer this question. And here are all the options. You see here I've got option 1, option 2, option 3. Remember, you can have as many options as you want, not just 3. You can keep adding more options if you want. So for me, option 1, what was my option 1? It's given me question for the option, an answer for an option number 1. Let's paste that in. Option 1 is, boom, yes, it sells for me 24/7. The next answer was I send manual emails. Okay, paste that in. And then the third option was I don't have one yet. I'm going to paste that in to option 3. Okay, I'm going to press save. Let's keep pressing save. Now remember, this is a system by which is hosted on the cloud. So keep pressing save all of the time. Now look what we've got here. Ooh, we've got categories and scores. Here's our second option. What category and what score? What category and what score? Now you haven't set a category yet, so let's set your categories. What are categories? This is important. I'm going to do this. What are categories? Categories are the results, right? Categories are the results, the outcomes that you have. How many do you want to have? 3 to 5 results as a maximum, okay? Or sorry, as an optimum, not a maximum. How do you do that? In the quiz builder, on the top left-hand side, you've got the plus button, you've got the ding dong bell, and you've got a little grid. You're actually going to click on the grid thing here. This is your categories, aka your results. Now, I'm just going to teach you something else here. Categories are used in a number of ways. Categories can be used just like folders to simply organize similar types of questions. Categories can also be the actual results. So some people who do lots and lots of quizzes or have lots and lots of questions, they use categories purely to organize questions and just use it like a way of managing folders and data. That is perfectly normal and doable. I personally like to use categories to segment my results. So all you need to do here is press add a category and pop in your quiz results. Mummy bear, daddy bear, baby bear, bronze, silver, gold, parrot, carrot, or potato. Whatever your results are going to be, okay? Just add your categories until you have all your results showing. Optimum 3 to 5, can be as many as you like. I'm going to press submit. This now system, remember to always press save, now has all of our results labeled in. So now we can go back to our question. There's our question, page number 3. Click on your question. It's going to open up your question editor on this right-hand side. Now we can actually go, and this question means they're going to be put in the high result bucket, and I'm going to give them a score of 3. If they select this option, then they're going to put them in the medium score bucket, and I'm going to give them a score of just 2. If they answer option number 3, I'm going to stick them in the low score bucket and give them just a score of 1. Save. How do we know what to do there? Your ChatGPT bot that I've made you, your Techmatics Quiz Creator bot, gives you that. It literally tells you what bucket it belongs to and what score you should have. All with me? Okay, so this next bit, guys, is really just as simple as going through and now copying and pasting our questions over. Now, this is why I recommend you keep your quizzes short. I would suggest, if you actually want people to complete these and actually get them done, don't ever do more than 10 or 12 questions, because people won't finish them and you won't get a full score rating and you won't get the full result from them. You really want to make this as simple and straightforward as possible, just so that you are, again, getting the basic segmentation, giving people a basic result to get them started. So this is where I'm just going to go through now and pop in all of my questions. Let's grab the next question. Question number 4. Let's go and add a new page. Add a single choice question. Click on the question, paste in the question, make it required. And we've got option 1, option 2, option 3. Let's pull in our 3 different options. Option 1 is, yes, I do have everything automated, and that's going to be a score of 3 in my high category. Okay. Option number 1. That's going to be my high score, and I'm going to give them 3 points if they answer option number 1. Then option number 2 is I manually do it. For me, that's medium. So I'm going to go back into option number 2, paste in option number 2, medium category, and that's only a score of 2. And the final option for that question is I don't have any. I don't have any. That's a low score, and I'm going to give them only 1 point. Save. Okay, lovely jubbly. How good is that? So of course, I'm going to keep repeating that process, add a new page, bring them over. Let me just also show you, there's lots and lots of other things that you can collect in here. You can collect yes or no answers, text answers, monetary values. So let me just show you an example of a monetary value. I gave you a sort of a real estate answer earlier. It might be in here that I say, what is your average annual business revenue? Okay. People might not answer this, so you might want to might not make it required. Okay, so you could put in this and it would give them the option to put in an actual figure. Now, I don't like these open questions for quizzes because, as I said before, it doesn't give you the ability to score it, right? It would just be a monetary number that's been entered in. So what I actually prefer to do when it comes to monetary is, again, I like to choose single choice. So I would pull in the same single choice option and say, what's your revenue? Question mark. And I would simply have in the options here, over 1 million. Okay, and that might be for me my high answer. And obviously for me, that's a score of 3. This might be 500,000 to 999. Okay, that would be like the medium, and score 2. And then, you get the point, right? Then this might be $1 to 499. You get the point, okay? That way, now we can score the answers. This for me is why I do not use open answers in a quiz. I always give them a multiple choice option. Also, what you'll find is when people are given multiple choices, the completion rate of your quiz is higher than if you're asking them to type stuff in. So it's another reason why. With me so far? Yes. Okay. So we're going to carry on just adding all of our answers, questions, answer options, and scoring against each category. Let's pretend I've put in all of my questions in here. Make sure you keep pressing save. The next thing we're going to do, scroll all the way down to the bottom of your questions. Again, remember, I've not made this look pretty yet. We're not doing pretty. We're just getting the content in here. When you scroll all the way to the bottom of your quiz, you have now here the option to go in and edit your results template. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a show around here first. First of all, whatever you click on this right-hand side is what you're editing on the left-hand side. So if I want to, first of all, you're up here, the title will be something like your default quiz. Click on that and you can now go and change what it says. When you click on this scoring section over here on the left-hand side, this is where you can go and edit what it says. If you want it to not say your scalability score, I've spelled that wrong for a start, okay? Your scalability score is, you can change that to whatever you like. You can change the word overall score to whatever you like. You can then click on, you've got your low, medium, high here. You can change that. All right. Score settings. This is this bit here. Score settings. What do you want these bits to say? Okay. You can go in and edit the text. For some reason, mine isn't doing it the right way around. All right. High should be, you're ready for growth. You're ready to multiply. But anyway, this way you can change it. You can also go in and change the background colors. All right. Go and change what everything looks like in terms of the coloration. Want to talk about your results? This bit's really important. This is the part that is the main overall call to action. Now, remember, this will pop up when they've pressed submit or finished the quiz. Behind the scenes, they're also going to get a follow-up set of emails from you where you might go into a lot more information. So you don't have to make these results massive, right? This is just the general result. I recommend that the email you send them afterwards, which will be triggered by the workflow, is where you put a lot more detail, where you put all of the suggestions, recommendations, upsells, links, recommendations of what they do next. This page, this result is really, keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it quite, here's your answer. Down in this want to talk about your results part, this is where you're going to just go, what's the main action I want people to take? Maybe it's booking a consult with you. Maybe it's booking a strategy session or a strategy call. Maybe it's going and opting into one of your offers. Maybe it's joining your membership. So here is where you have the option to edit what that says. Just type in the results. Click, text, type, subscribe, right? This might be book a call with one of our team members. Okay, Done. You can change the color of the button. You can change what it says on the button, everything else as well. Make sure you press save on the bottom, and you can go back and edit that results page whenever you want. But now you've got your results page done as well. You also have some settings to check here. So at the moment, what happens when they press the submit button, i.e. the complete the quiz button? We have set ours to go to that result template, that result page. You can just open another URL or send them a thank you message, but I like them to go to that results page. So that's what that means when it says results template. That's the one I select. That's the one I want it to be on. We've just edited that results template. Now, if you are running Facebook ads to this or anything like that, you're going to want to put your Facebook pixel ID and everything on here. Do you want people to be able to press back? I usually do. I let them go back and change their answers. And I always turn on sticky contact as well. This means if they're already in your system, do you want their name and email address to pre-fill? Yes, you do. Again, the more you can reduce people having to type stuff in, the better. So I turn on sticky contact, and I also enable time zone. This means if the person's IP address allows a system to pick up where they are, it will just update their contact record with their actual time zone, which is always very helpful. I'm going to press save, cool. We've now basically, and other than making it look beautiful, we've put in our all important first page, which is collecting the name and email address. We've put in all of our questions. We've submitted our or edited our results template at the bottom. And we've also made sure that we've aligned every single option of an answer to the outcomes or the results of our quiz. Hopefully we've all done that. The other thing we can check is on the top right-hand corner, you have this option called styles and options. You might just want to give this a little check over. This is where you can go in and change your background colors. It's all plain white at the moment. Maybe I wanted it to be purple, right? Obviously that looks hideous, so I'm not going to do that. But this is where you can go in and change what the background of your quiz looks like. Okay, I'm not going to do design today. This is where you change all your colors, change your font color, change the background of the little icon-y thing there. You can put in your own footer. There's absolutely everything you want to do to change the way the style and how this all looks is all editable inside this styles section. Okay, so you can do whatever you like to make this look pretty. You can even, I believe, can you add in images or anything in here as well? I wouldn't, by the way. I just don't think you need to. Yes, you can. So you can add images in here if you want to. I personally just think, why would you just make stuff more complicated? I just don't do that. I'm going to leave it really simple, really straightforward. What's the point of your quiz? To find out stuff about your audience and give them a result. So I'm going to press save, and let's pretend that's now done. What we will need to do with this quiz later to make sure people receive it is I personally like to embed the quiz on a funnel page. You can just send people directly a direct link. So let me first show you that. Where it says integrate on the top right-hand corner, there are two options here. There's one called an embed code and there's one called share. I like to take this embed code and stick it inside a funnel page, because then the funnel will have its domain. That's my domain. I can make the page look beautiful and the quiz is just embedded on the page. However, if you don't care about that and you just want to share the link, you can just press share, grab the link or open the quiz link, and this will basically be what your quiz looks like. So this, I could now give this all to you right now and you can fill this quiz in immediately, this very second. It's pre-filled my contact details because it was sticky. I'm just going to fill in randomly the quiz. Yep. Okay, sweet. And now it's automatically given me my score. Okay, so I clearly need to work on my scoring results there because they've come out a bit backwards, but you can see here it's given me my overall score, and boom, I can go and book a call there if I wanted to. You get the whole point. Okay, now that is the quiz itself basically finished. If I want to embed this onto a funnel page, then we're going to copy this code. All right, follow me, copy the code. We're now going to go to funnels. Let's go to funnels, and I'm going to create a new funnel. And I might create one from blank, or I could even use an existing funnel page or website page as a template. If you've already made any funnel pages or website pages, you can actually reuse them. So I might just go and reuse something. I'm going to press create from blank, and I'm going to call this the scalability quiz. Scalability score quiz. Create. Okay, we're going to add a step to our funnel, and I'm just going to call this the scalability quiz. Okay, and what do I want the URL to be? So it'll be like techmatics.com, mydomain.com/what. So I'm just going to call this /scalability quiz. I spelled that correct? Scalability quiz. Okay, funnel. And it will also then ask me, do I want to start from scratch or actually use an existing web page or funnel page that I've already created somewhere? Now, I have already created funnels and websites inside this account. So to keep my branding consistent, I'm just going to go and duplicate an existing page from somewhere so that I don't have to rebuild everything from scratch. So I might press use existing, and maybe I've got something in a funnel here. If I got any kind of like funnel, I might actually just pick something from the website. I'm going to choose one of the website pages. Our Techmatics website is on here. What page do I want to steal something from? Let's just steal the support page. All right, so it's going to just copy an existing web page that I've got so that I can just copy the branding, right? I don't have to rebuild all of my web pages all the time. If you've built anything in Techmatics once, you don't have to rebuild it again. You can just press use existing. So now it's copied the page. I'm going to open up this page, and I'm just going to delete everything other than the main header, really. So it's going to give me a nice copy. Let's have a sip of me creatine. Here we go. So instead of it saying 24-hour support, I'm going to call this free quiz. I don't even know if that was the question. All right, but I'm just going to put the title in. Okay, then I can explain what the quiz is about. So I'm just going to put in a little bit of the... By the way, you do have a funnel template that I've given you. I'm going to get rid of all of the buttons because we don't need any of these buttons. Let's just press delete on everything. And then I'm going to just embed the quiz here. Take the free quiz now. And I'm going to just delete everything else on the rest of this whole entire page. Okay. I would just go through and delete everything else, okay? Because we just don't need everything else on here. All I'm going to do, remember we copied that embed code when we were in the quiz area? We're going to simply, either you can press the plus button here, or you can press the plus button on the add elements. Make sure you're on elements, and we're going to find the element called code or HTML. There we go, code. I'm going to drag in the code, because remember we copied a code, and open the code editor and just press paste. That's the code we copied from the quiz builder. We were inside the quiz builder, we pressed integrate, and we copied the code. Just going to press save. That's all. Press publish. It's then going to ask you, what domain do you want to publish this on? So I'm going to do mine on just techmatics.com, I think. Press save. And I'm not going to worry about the SEO metadata right now. I'm going to press preview. It's a little eyeball on the top right-hand corner so I can see what this really looks like. You won't see this pop up in the builder. You have to actually go to the real preview. But there it is. There's my little header. Take the free quiz now. Look, it's now literally embedded. Also, purple background is not the best background for this because you can't see the next button. But now the quiz has embedded in the page. See that? No, I know it's going to drive everyone mad. I'm only doing a demo. Okay. How cool is that? It's embedded. So it's up to you whether you want to just share the link to the quiz or whether you want to embed the quiz in a page. Now, the other reason why I like to take this extra step of embedding it in a page is because of the stats that you get. I just personally like data. Here is my funnel page. Because it's now on a funnel, I can actually now click on the stats page. I can see all of the numbers of people that have visited this page. If I'm running Facebook ads, I definitely want to run it to a funnel page just because I can see more data. Now, of course, when it comes to the quizzes itself, you actually can go up to submissions. So quizzes, submissions, you can actually here click on which quiz, the specific quiz, and it will show you all the people that have filled it in. So look, there's me. I've just done my 2 tests. It's going to show all of my answers, everything that I got, what my score result was. So I could really easily use this for a sales team to go and follow people up. We can also use these results behind the scenes to do other stuff as well. Now, talking of results, let's also just understand that you can automatically send yourself the results in the moment as well if you want to. So I'm just going to reopen up the quiz builder to show you where that is. Here you have on the top left-hand corner, the notifications bell. Let me make this a bit bigger for you. The notifications bell. If you want to receive an email every time a customer or a lead fills it in, just turn it on. And then just make sure you put in the email address that you want it to be sent to. If you want the customer to receive an automated reply of their results, you can turn that on as well. Okay, just letting you know that's where you can automatically turn that on. But what we've done now is, let's just do a little refresh. We used our custom quiz creator GPT to decide what we're going to create a quiz about, the title of the quiz, what the results will be, categories, what the questions will be, what the optional answers will be, how those answers relate to each outcome category, and what the scoring is going to be for each option, so that at the end of the quiz, people get their result. We've also edited our results template area. Our final step now is to create our results workflows. And this is the most important part and where the real magic begins. When we have created a workflow for each result, remember that, a workflow for every result, a separate individual workflow for each result. This is where you now can tag people, move them to stages in a pipeline, add certain customer record notes, grant them access to different courses or programs, send them unique emails and like follow-up emails and sales emails based on the result that they got. You might be, if they got a high result, you might actually trigger an employee or yourself to phone them and give them a call, start the sales process, get them to book a strategy call. If they come up with a low result, you might be offering them a free course. If they come up with a high result, you might be offering them one of your top tier, higher ticket services. I don't know, right? These are all the options. These are all the kinds of ways that you can now use workflows to really make this magic. So let me now show you how we go and create these workflows. So you're going to go in to your workflow builder, and I'll just go back a step so that those of you who are doing this for the very first time know where we are. You go to automated workflows on your main left-hand dashboard, and we're going to click create a workflow from scratch. Now I'm just going to pick one that I've already started, and this workflow from scratch is going to be one of your results. So I recommend you first of all name it, and I use this particular naming convention. Quiz results, semicolon, title of the quiz, dash, result. Quiz results, name of the quiz, dash, what's the result? So I know at a glance that this workflow is resulted to this particular quiz and it's this particular result. How do we trigger this? Okay, how do we trigger this? This is what it's going to look like, and I'll show you how to set this up. We basically need to tell the system what quiz it is. See where it says filters here? What quiz is it, and what score did they get? Okay, how do you do this? Press add a new trigger. In search trigger, let me make this bigger for you. In search trigger, you're going to type in the word quiz, and you will see here that you have quiz submitted pop up as a result. Now you are going to put in where it says workflow trigger name. This is admin for you. high result, for instance, or X result. Choose whatever it is so you know what this trigger is. Then we're going to say to the system, so this bit here you can't press on, quiz name, all you're going to choose is, quiz name is, and then go and find the quiz that you've just made. Quiz is blup. Then the second filter that we are adding is the score. So add filter, and the overall score is greater than, because this is my high result. And remember, I've set my high result to, here's my ChatGPT bot that made it all for me. There we go. There's my results. Set the results. So for me, anything that was 71 or above is the high result. So greater than 70 because it's 71 or above. So that tells me that this particular workflow, and I have already made one with that trigger. I've got that already. So there we go. Quiz scalability score is high, the quiz name is X, and the overall score is greater than 70. So this now means I can start doing anything I want to make this particular quiz workflow result now go and do whatever I want it to do. FYI, I don't know if Febby's got it ready for yet. I have actually made a full quiz creator guide for you that I think Febby's just published on our website, and it will have this video replay embedded in it. Here's the thing I always do first. So they've submitted a quiz. This is now what triggers this workflow. They've submitted the quiz and they've come out as the high result. I, first of all, tag them. So I've pressed the plus button. Let's add a tag. Add a contact tag. And this is going to be, tag is quiz scalability score is high. Oops. Okay. Save. So now it tags them. The other thing I always want to tag people with, always, is mailing list, because they've opted in to this system. If this is a new lead, I want them to be added to my mailing list. So make sure you tag them with mailing list. Okay, boom, there's the mailing list tag. Excellent. The next thing you might want to do, and this is a might, okay, it's not necessary, is you might want to, if you've got a customer journey, is now add them to the lead stage of your customer journey. This is called opportunities inside the system because we're referring to sales opportunities. So your action is create or update opportunity. If you actually have a customer journey inside the system, I don't know whether I do in this account or not. Do we? Do I? I don't know if I do. I'm not going to put that stage right now because I don't know if this is actually has a sales page. Oh, yes, we do. Okay. This is a customer journey. They are a new lead. Okay. And the opportunity name, press on the tag, is the contact's name, just so you know. Contact full name. Opportunity source might be lead quiz. Sorry, what's it called? Scalability quiz. Scalability. This means where did they come from? Source means where did they come from? Value means what are they worth to you? For me, if they purchased a year in Techmatics, they're basically worth about $1,000, right? What's the status? It means they're open because the sales status is still open. They haven't bought anything. They've only done a quiz. So they're still open. So let's press save. So we've updated where they sit in the customer journey. Now this person actually sits in the lead stage of our customer journey. What are other things you might like to do? Remember, none of these are things you have to do. They're just things you might like to do. I like to add a customer note to the record because remember, this is a CRM and I like to add notes to the customer record when people do things. So you might like to add a note to the system. So I might use this custom value tag. I like to put something like, why can't I view? There we go. Contact full name has submitted the quiz. How scalable is your business? And they have come out as a high score. Here are some things we could recommend for or do for them to help them use Techmatics more better or sign up. Okay, whatever it is you want to put as a note in their record. It's for you. It's for your notes, for your client notes. What else might we like to do? What else? We could obviously now send them an email, right? All of this is going to happen in a seconds, right? In an absolute instant. This is where we want to now have the all important send them an email. So let's press email, send an email. I like to go down to templates here and find my master template. Boom. So here's a master template. I don't know, this is a demo example. So I'm just going to pick my master template, press edit. And always the first thing you do is press save as a new template. Otherwise, you're just going to overwrite this one. Okay. So always press save as a new template and give it a new name. So this is going to be quiz result. For what? For the scalability quiz. And for what result? High result. Outcome. Okay. Continue. It's just going to refresh and save this as its own unique standalone template. There we go. You can see the title at the top now is now set to the title of our quiz. I'm going to get rid of this image. I don't want that there. High contact first name. And then you're just going to put your high result email content in here. Okay. And woohoo, congratulations on doing the quiz. I've seen that you come out as an X result. This is amazing. This means this. Here are some suggested things for you. Watch this video. Here's a workshop you might want to do. Maybe you want to book a call with me. You're ready for this particular product or service. Please make sure you remember the whole point of this is to sell stuff. All right, be helpful, but don't forget to sell something. This is like the hottest opportunity you have. They've just come out as a certain result. Tell them what's perfect for them to do now, or buy now, or book now, or order now. How cool is that? Change a button to go and get this particular thing that's related to the outcome they've got. Ta-da! Okay, save, boom, done. You can now close it because you've saved it. And what you're going to put here, action name is for you. This isn't the subject email. We're going to call this high result email. Up to you, what you want to call it. And subject line obviously is here's your result, whatever you want that to say, but the subject line is what the client receives. You can even put important on there. All right, boom, save. So now they've got the high result. They've been tagged with a high score mailing list. We've updated your customer journey. You've added notes to the contact record. You've sent them the actual result. Other thing we might do is maybe in the email you said, I've sent you like access to my free thingy. So you could even, for instance, pressing grant and grant access to a particular product. Maybe there's a free thing you've got in there and you're going to give them access to that free thing because they've got that particular result. I don't know. Maybe you now want to wait for a week, wait for 7 days, okay, and follow up with them. So maybe you might actually want to go and send another email at this point and say, hey, contact first name, how are you going? Last week I saw that you came out as an X result, or that you should be creating this type of course, or that you could get a home loan of up to $5 million. Would you like to do this? Would you like to book the call? Would you like to have the free strategy session? Whatever it is for you, okay? You can press these wait periods and follow up and keep upselling until they buy something. You can also do, what else can you do? So much stuff you can do in here. Maybe you could add specific tasks. So it may be because they've come out as a high result, I might actually assign a task to my sales rep to go and follow up with that person. So here I might say a sales rep to call. So here the title is, please call, tag, contact full name. Description, hi staff member. Put a note, the contacts, I'm going to get smaller. Can't view it. Sorry, let me try that again. Oh, I can't find it. Scroll up. Yeah. There we go. Contact full name. Let me just make that bigger again. Contact full name has come out as an X result. Please call them for a sales call or strategy session for X service. Yeah, assign it to, who am I going to give it to? I'm going to give it to that particular team member, and it's actually due in 1 day. This will now automatically create a task on the dashboard, assign it to that staff member, and that staff member will now be given a task because of the result that was come out as. How amazing is that? Now, Lorna says, would you add these people to a nurture sequence? 1,000,000% yes. So for me, my nurture sequences, as in my ongoing nurture sequences, automatically trigger when a new contact is added to my system. That's just the way that I do it. So for me, because if they are a new contact, they will already be added to the nurture sequence. But if you want to manually add people to sequences, let's press the plus button and type in the word workflow, and you can now add them to a workflow. So I might now like to go and add them to my nurture sequence. Okay. Simply press save action and it will add them to nurture emails. Add to workflow, nurture sequence, save. Boom. That will add them there. Save. Boom. And when I'm happy with that, you can be as creative as you like. You can add as many elements, steps, and things as you like. Press publish, and that will be live. So that, my friends, is how you create a quiz, design the quiz in the first place, create all of the scoring, and then create automated workflows. Now, let me just share with you as well. We just created a workflow there for the high result. Here's now where this gets a lot easier for you for the next result. All you're going to do is go back into your main workflows area, click on the little clock, which will show the most recent thing that you did. Now, let's say I want to create a new workflow for the medium result. Just simply hover over the 3 dots and press duplicate workflow. But we're going to just change this one to medium and press create, open it up. See, now we've got our medium result. I don't have to build everything from scratch. All I've got to do now for the medium result is go and edit each of these parts. So for me, what was the medium score? The score for my medium was between 41 and 70%. Make sure you change the score to the correct score for your medium score. Save trigger. You've got to make sure that you go through and change the note so that it's not high. Obviously, it's medium. Your email, you're going to come in here. Make sure you press edit and save as a new template. Otherwise, you'll rewrite your high result. Save as a new template. Make sure you type in medium result, continue, and it's going to open up a new, brand new, fresh template. This now becomes your medium email. Put in whatever call to action is for your medium result. Awesome. And you're just going to go through and just do that tweaking all the way through. Did they get something different for free? Are you going to get the sales rep to do something different? Okay. What are there going to be other workflows you add them to or remove them to afterwards? All right. You get the whole entire point. But once you've done the first one, you're going to press save and then publish. Your ones after that, quite simply, are you just duplicating the workflows and making those tiny little tweaks. So there we go. I hope that's given you a nice overview of what all those major steps are. The most important thing is that we have to recognize here that all of you are creating quite different types of quizzes. So I do have to keep these trainings fairly generic in that sense. So if you need very specific help with your particular type of quiz, please make sure you book a call with a tech expert, right? Go to techmatics.com, book a call. And in those 60 minutes, for the sake of $50, you can get one of the tech experts to go into your system, make sure your quiz is set up correctly, that everything's firing, all of your triggers are working, all of your calculations are correct, making sure that workflow is set to the right trigger or the right volume, the right percentage, the right amount, and that you've included all of the right steps in your workflow. Okay, for the sake of $50 for 60 minutes of time, there's a lot that you could get checked through there and make sure that it's working. So what I'll finally finish up with is once you've got your quiz right, now you want to make sure that you get as many people going through that quiz as possible. So this is where I would instantaneously go and share, if you put it on a funnel page, share the URL. So for me, I did techmatics.com/scalability-quiz, whatever it was. Go and share that across all of your socials. Put it on your link page. Put it on the footer of your emails. Send an email out to your whole list. take this free quiz right now. I would go to my social media scheduler and I would schedule that quiz to go out every single week, every week on repeat. Have you taken the XYZ quiz yet? Across all your social channels, right? So that it's out there. This is how you make sure that everything you create is done forever. If, like me, you have a free stuff page on your website, this is where I'd go and add the quiz to the free stuff page as well, so that you're giving people even more doors through which to come into your business. There are some tips for you. I hope you feel a little bit more confident about going in and now starting to play with quiz making. And if you do have questions, make sure you jump on to techmatics.com, book a call, and have a chat with one of our tech experts. But happy creating, happy quiz making, happy lead generating, and as always, happy teching. See you guys soon. See ya. Love it. Britt says, thank you very much, Britt. Thanks, Cadence. I'm glad it's helped you. Amazing. See you guys soon. Bye.